Kalan? Huh?
Gösterge zaman kalın canım.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर। Bilal sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Başka kafa görüyor. Onu samaş. Buraya. Tamam.
तेरी अजमत का चर्चा चार सू, कौम की तकदीर का मैं मार दूं। तेरी अजमत का चर्चा चार सू, कौम की तकदीर का मैं मार दूं। तू निशा है माज़ी कमराज का, हाल का हाफिज है इस्तिकबाल का। तू निशा है माज़ी कमराज का, हाल का हाफिज है इस्तिकबाल का। अस्सलामे मरकज़े इल्म व हुनर, गंजेर पा गंजेर लालो गोहर। अस्सलामे मरकज़े इल्म व हुनर, गंजेर पा गंजेर लालो गोहर। तेरे साए में हमारा नौजवान, तेरे साए में हमारा नौजवान। ऐने अगलब है कि छूले आसमान, ऐने अगलब है कि छूले आसमान। कोई गोशा तेरा बैतुल फला, हासिले इल्मे जदीद हरदम रवा। हर कोई गोशा तेरा बैतुल फला, हासिले इल्मे जदीद हरदम रवा। अस्सलामे मरकज़े इल्म व हुनर, गंजे लालो गोहर। अस्सलामे मरकज़े इल्म व हुनर, गंजे लालो गोहर। निगहबानी कर तू इन माल का, निगहबानी कर तू इन माल का, हाल का इस्लाह अहवाल का, हाल का इस्लाह अहवाल का। तालिबाने इल्म तेरे आर पार, याद तेरी इनको आती बार बार। तालिबाने इल्म तेरे आर पार, याद तेरी इनको आती बार बार। रहमतें हैं आम तेरी बेशुमार, मिस्तर नौरोज़ आलम नौबहार। रहमतें हैं आम तेरी बेशुमार, मिस्तर नौरोज़ आलम नौबहार। हर किसी नाशाद को अब शाद कर, गुलशने कश्मीर को आबाद कर, गुलशने कश्मीर को आबाद कर, गुलशने कश्मीर को आबाद।
Good morning, everyone. The proceedings of the program will commence in a while. We have been joined by Dr. Vikram Singh, our esteemed speaker. We have also been joined by Nodal Principal, Kashmir Division Colleges, the Professor Dr. Sheikh Aegis Bashir. And we're expecting more guests to join us soon. So we'll begin in 1 minute. Shall we start, sir?
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Esteemed Chief Guest in absentia, Shri Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary to Government J&K Higher Education Department. Special Secretary Higher Education Department, Dr. Ravi Shankar Sharma. Respected Nodal Principal, Kashmir Division Colleges, Professor Sheikh Aegis Bashir. Our esteemed speaker for the session, Honorable Chancellor, of Noida International University, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS, the Program Director and Worthy Principal, the Professor Dr. Mohammad Farooq Rathar, principals of various government degree colleges, head of the departments, faculty members, and dear participants. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I, Dr. Said Mutahar Akib, Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of Computer Science, GDC Baramulla, and the Coordinator of Internal Quality Assurance Cell, welcome you all to this inaugural function of the webinar series, Convergence 360, organized by the college under the aegis of Viksit Bharat at 2047. The theme of the webinar series, it promises to be an enlightening exploration of advances in science, humanities, and technology. I, on behalf of the worthy principal, the organizing committee, and the whole fraternity of GDC Baramulla, welcome you all to this session. Now, Convergence 360. The idea of Convergence 360 webinar series has been conceived with the vision of fostering interdisciplinary dialogue and collaboration in an age where boundaries between scientific, humanistic, and technological disciplines are becoming quite narrow. This series aims to provide a platform for the exchange of innovative ideas and research findings. Our objective is to inspire intellectual curiosity, facilitate knowledge sharing. So kindly you check your audio. Audio is fine. Our objective is to inspire intellectual curiosity, facilitate knowledge sharing, and cultivate a collaborative spirit amongst the participants. So through a series of insightful sessions led by experts, we aim to contribute a deeper understanding into the dynamic landscapes within all these areas. Today, to get this, in order to begin with this exciting journey, we're honored to have with us Professor Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, and the Honorable Vice Chancellor. He has also been an Honorable Vice Chancellor of Noida International University, and right now he's the Honorable Chancellor of Noida International University. His experience, his extensive experience, I should say, and insights are sure to guide us through an exploration of Viksit Bharat, navigating the future with strategic administration and progressive decision making. Our schedule today not only includes the captivating keynote address by Professor Singh, but also we expect other distinguished guests, including our Special Secretary to Higher Education Department, Dr. Ravi Shankar Sharma, and our nodal principal, Professor Dr. Sheikh Ajaz Bashir, to join us. Now, to begin with the proceedings of the program, let's hear from the worthy principal who has been instrumental in shaping this webinar series, our program director, the Professor Mohammad Farooq Rathar. Sir, I request you to kindly welcome our guests and participants and deliberate on the basic idea of this webinar series. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Akif. Principal Secretary Higher Education, Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Alok Kumar, Special Secretary Dr. Ravi Shankar Sharma, Director Higher Education Dr. Yasmin Akshai, Nodal Principal Kashmir Dr. Ajaz Bashir, our special guest today, the speaker, Honorable Chancellor Noida International University, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS. My dear colleagues from various parts of the country, principals, faculty members, right from Kashmir up to Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, and my dear students and the participants. Very good morning and welcome to this webinar series, the Convergence 360. I believe how we are going to explore advances in science, humanities, and technology 2023-24 under the aegis of Viksit Bharat 2047. Before that, I believe I should first talk about the key features of our country, India. At present, you know very well, India is the 7th largest country in the world in the form of area. A country with a population of over 140 crore, diversified country with over 22 scheduled major languages, 122 major languages, and almost 1,600 other languages. Heterogeneous geographical and geological features, a country known for spicy food diversity, more than 70% economy based on agriculture, largest democracy with diversified cultural heritage, one of the top 30 countries in education sector, and now under NEP believed to have to jump from top 30 to top 10 in the world if implemented NEP 20 in true spirit. A country known by producing large number of movies, and I will take the last one, that is India, a cultural, a religious, and multiple destinations for various people of world. My address today in the morning session will be totally related to youth, because the median age of our youth is about 28 years, whereas that of China, that has 39 years. It means our youth are roughly 11 years younger to China, and in our country, 55% of the population is below 30 years. So there is every possibility that we should target these youth so that our country becomes a fully developed country in 2047. Now, under NEP 20 scheme, there is possibility of one of the most important key factor in the secret sector. We are having at present 3 sectors, that is academic curriculum, extracurriculum, co-curriculum, but we have not been working on this part, that is the secret curriculum. At present, recently in 2023 March, about 1.3 lakh skilled laborers, or I would say skilled technicians, migrated to European country, and because of that, they created some sort of void in our country. So it means we are left with youth having unskilled approach. And because of that, the problem, the hurdle there is in making the country industrial rich, in understanding the agricultural aspect, in understanding how to convert a raw material into the finished product, and then finally towards the consumer, and ultimately making the living standard of our all people in the right direction, or giving them the basic needs. So for that matter, we have to basically target the youth, and for that we have to work in all the 4 curriculum. What is happening at present, whenever we talk about the scheme, every scheme almost, I believe, is a beautiful scheme. The problem lies in the implementation. So if we take NEP 20 into consideration and talk about seriously the skilled sector, we are going to produce top-rated technicians. That is going to improve the quality of industry, and that is going to give us the top quality product. So my aim is here not to only talk about the higher education in the form of producing good number of PhDs, but we want to have lesser number of PhDs so that they can have quality research. and let the rest of the people go into the technical part, into the industrial part, into the agricultural part, so that our youth are going to get themselves adjusted within the country. So I hope our migration to other countries or the green pasture should get stopped. I hope this is going to work for us, and I am hopeful that Professor Dr. Vikram Singh is going to elaborate more on it. Please, I welcome you, sir. Please carry on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom and encouragement. I now invite our esteemed patron, the Professor Dr. Sheikh Ajaz Bashir, our Nodal Principal, Kashmir Division Colleges, to formally inaugurate the webinar series. Bilal Saab, can you share the slide? Ajaz sir?
Yes,
Are you there,
yes.
sir?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, sir. Kindly inaugurate the webinar series, sir.
I have to click here.
Yes, sir. Bilal sir. Next. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Can I say a few words?
Yes, sir.
Mother?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. I was about to ask you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
dear.
sir.
Thank you, dear. We are honored to have with us Dr. Vikram Singh, Honorable Chancellor, Noida International University. He's known in every household in Kashmir for his, this eloquence and for his balanced view on different important issues the country is facing at different points in time. And whenever there are issues, and Dr. Vikram Saab is always there to give his opinion, and his opinion is always balanced, and it's being, just admired in this region. And we are thankful to him for joining this important discourse here. When we talk about Convergence 360, we are talking about that we'll be talking about different things about strategic administration and policy planning. And what is most important is, as Professor Farooq Saab has rightly said, that we have the great demographic dividend available with us. We should take, we have to take much from that. When our Honorable Prime Minister says he has a vision, Honorable Prime Minister talks in terms of we cannot stop until the dream of Viksit Bharat 2047, a developed India, is fulfilled. And this is a vision that we have to fulfill, but it's not easy. When we are talking about in next 25 years, we have to achieve what we have not been able to achieve in the last 75 years. So it's a big take, and we have to, just take a leap. Our Honorable Prime Minister says that we have to take a leap, and leap is the right word for this, because when we are talking about the economy size is 4 trillion this time, and by 25 we are going to reach 5 trillion, and by 2047 we have to reach 30 trillion. So it is achievable, but then everybody has to work very hard for this. And let me tell Professor Vikram Singh ji that the higher education sector in the UT of J&K is in the forefront of this, and we have been very strongly connected with this Viksit Bharat Initiative 2047. Number of programs have been happening in the college in a continuous mode, and let me share the figures that by now around 27,000 students have shared their ideas on Viksit Bharat portal. They have shared their ideas, and they have given what is their vision, how we can achieve the target where we become a developed country by 100th year of our celebration. So this is a very important webinar series. I congratulate Baramulla College. I congratulate the principal. I congratulate Dr. Muthar and his team, organizing team, for arranging this important deliberation, because what comes out of a deliberation is very important. Outcomes are very important. When we deliberate, when we talk, when we discuss, and then we arrive at ideas, and when we implement those ideas, then there are outcomes that are required. So I expect that this webinar series will be very good in terms of its outcomes, and I expect that Dr. Muthar will, he will come out with a document that may be helpful to us in furthering this vision of Viksit Bharat. Because ultimately what is important is that education has to play a very important role. As Professor Rathur Saab has said, that we have the advantage, we have the demographic advantage. Our youngsters are, just lesser of a lesser age than China. Then we have to take advantage of this. And where those youngsters are, they are in our college, they are in our institutions, in the higher education institutions, or in secondary schools. But what is important here is that when we talk about NEP, we talk about implementation, we talk about skilling and all that, it's happening. It's happening in a continuous way. And when policy gets implemented, that policy planners talk in terms of implementation in a long-term manner. It's not that policy has been implemented and to be implemented in 1 day or 2 days. It's going to take years. And they have the vision that with the implementation of this policy, we are going to convert our country into we are going to generate a skill force that will match any country, any developed country. So with these words, I thank the organizers for taking me on board for this important webinar, and I'll be keenly listening to our worthy speaker, Dr. Singh Saab, because his views are very important for all of us, and I have been listening to him on the national media also continuously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of encouragement. We'll sure draft the report and we'll share the copy with you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now it's time to formally introduce the main speaker of today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure and honor that I introduce the esteemed speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS, a man of profound wisdom and experience. Professor Dr. Vikram Singh is an accomplished IPS officer of batch 1974. He has dedicated his life for upholding the principles of justice, integrity, and public service. His tenure as the DGP of UP showcased his exemplary leadership. Sir has completed his MSc from Allahabad University in 1972 and PhD in ecology from Kumaon University in 1990. Sir is one of the most highly decorated police officers in the country. He has worked for the modernization and induction of state-of-the-art technology and universal best practices in police. He's rated as a star trainer and a keynote speaker on issues related to security, management, public policy, and crisis resolution. Sir has been a speaker for over 50 events, national and international. Sir has also supervised a number of scholars for their PhD. Sir has also been awarded a number of awards like the President's Medal for Gallantry in 1986 and also in 1988. Sir has been awarded the President's Medal for Long and Meritorious Service in 1990. President's Medal for the Distinguished Service in 1996. The Kathin Seva Medal in 2001. Sir is also listed in the Limca Book of Records, mentioning him as the most highly decorated police officer in the country. Right now, Sir is working as the Honorable Chancellor of Noida International University. Sir extends his influence to the academic realm, shaping the minds of the future leaders and innovators. His commitment to education underscores the interconnectedness of an effective administration and the cultivation of knowledge. Today, Sir has graciously agreed to share his insights on the theme that is the Viksit Bharat, navigating the future with strategic administration and progressive policy making. This topic is not merely a reflection of his professional journey, but a visionary exploration into the trajectory of our nation. So please join me in welcoming the Professor Vikram Singh to deliver his lecture. Over to you, sir. Vikram, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Adab, walaikum salam. Thank you very much, Dr. Sayyid Mutahir Akib Sahab, for your very kind and gracious introduction. Professor Mohammad Farooq Rathir sir, Honorable Principal. Mr. Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary. Professor Sheikh Aegis Bashir Sahab, Professor Yasmin Sahiba, distinguished guests, professors, members of the faculty, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to participate in your Convergence 360 Degrees webinar series on IQAC webinar series, and the theme being Viksit Bharat at 2047. Nothing could be more relevant and contemporary than the current topic, and the opening remarks made by the learned gentleman, Principal Honorable Farooq Rathir sir, have given the roadmap of what I intend to speak and what needs to be addressed. I will go into the details, and my last 10 minutes would be on the most important aspect of the country, that is the youth of today, that is you. We will begin by saying that India has traversed a long journey. Our independence in 1947, no doubt India's heritage is rooted to the past. When I go back to 1947, the advantage of being the oldest, I can tell you that I was born in 1950. Faint memories of what our economy was like. Apart from Hindustan Motors in Kolkata, it is difficult to identify a single major industry. And China was below us as far as GDP was concerned. China, again, was almost at par in the mid-80s. In the 1990s, China started overtaking us. And today, China is 5 times ahead of us as far as per capita GDP is concerned. I would give you the example of 2 other countries, Singapore and Malaysia. Singapore also got, and Malaysia got their independence much later. And Singapore became a role model, and it is an international best practice, industrialization, use of science and technology, and skilling, as Honorable Principal Sir has mentioned, skilled manpower. Malaysia took a slightly divergent route of industrialization, import substitution, and export-oriented economy. And the success story is before all of us. For 75 years, our progress has been there. It is, but there's a lot that needs to be done. We now have 3,498 colleges which were there in 2014. Today we have 43,796 colleges. Against 723 universities, we have 1,113 universities. We have 21 IIMs, 23 IITs, 706 medical colleges. And as per the Forbes list, India is the 5th largest economy in the world, which is a matter of tremendous pride and satisfaction for all of us Indians. But the woods are silent and are deep, but we have promises to keep and miles to go before we sleep, and miles to go before we sleep. Mention has been made of the national education policy. We'll go into the various statutes, but the national education policy is nothing short of a revolution. Things that were even talked about philosophically, if this were to happen and this were to happen, then miracles would happen. But now the miracles have happened, not only in the field of education, but in the field of criminal jurisprudence, Right to Information Act, citizen empowerment, because Viksit Bharat at 2047, we just have 25 years to go. 25 years is a very short span of time. And you, my dear students, and your mentors, the esteemed teachers who have a legacy of 116 years of Government Degree College, Baramulla, you have got A in NAC, thanks to the efforts made by our Honorable Principal, Professor Mohammad Farooq Rathir sir. I know how difficult it is to get A in NAC. It is not child's play. You really have to work hard. All the blood, toil, sweat, and tears, and every single person's contribution will give you the A grading. So many congratulations. And a round of applause for you, the Government Degree College, your honorable principals, and the members of the staff. Indeed, it doesn't come easy. There is no success like this at bargain prices. So many congratulations to sir and all of you and your wonderful team.
Thank you, sir.
God
So
bless
we
you.
are also an autonomous institution based from where we have been conferred the autonomous status by the UGC, apart from being an A-graded institution. Thank you, sir. I wanted to add to that.
I can see in the very near future, you will be a university, and nobody can stop that. You will be a university very soon.
Thank you, sir.
And success speaks, as McEnroe had said. Somebody asked him, "You are going to play the Wimbledon. What is your statement?" The McEnroe said, "Now I won't speak. My racket will speak." Now, all of you gentlemen, your actions will speak louder than words, and it is already speaking louder than words. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Short-term solutions today become long-term problems of tomorrow. We must understand that. We must not pick the unimplementable ideas of the West, but induct the best universal practices that have already been implemented and are success stories today. We have discussed about China, although our adversary, but yes, the best points must come forward, and we must pick up the best international practices wherever we get them from. We need to see what will make India in the next 25 years. The roadmap for these 25 years is going to be something that your single vote is not enough. Every Indian has to work hard and bring around that success which India got. That is a vision for India. India's heritage is rooted to the past, as Swami Vivekananda said. And that vision, that a positive future, India, which belongs to everyone, and everyone belongs to India, that the last man in the queue is the most important. And if the benefits of development do not go to him, then I think there is something horribly wrong in our planning. As Jigar Muradabadi had said, "Main chaman mein chahe jahan rahun, mera hak hai fasle bahar pe." I would say, why only the fasle bahar? The entire bagh, entire Gulistan is yours. The entire Gulistan is yours. Because if there is deprivation, if there is discrimination, if there is injustice, it will not impact that just one person or a microscopic minority. That injustice, that poverty will impact the entire nation, because we are one body, one country, and therefore the richness and the prosperity belongs to all. We come to governance. If there are 10 important steps to Viksit Bharat, the first step is governance. And in governance, speedy justice, transparency, unimpeachable integrity of the bureaucracy, professional competence, and that does not come easy. That has to be worked upon. We have recently seen, and I will take a little while to explain, that as far as governance is concerned, we have certain issues that are closely intertwined to empower the citizenry. Right to information and the 3 acts, the Indian Penal Code 1861, recast as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanghita, the Criminal Procedure Code, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanghita, the Indian Evidence Act, Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. These were British rules meant to perpetrate the imperialism and the feudal mindset of the rulers. It is a matter of satisfaction that these black laws have now been replaced, that were punitive, now for to give and dispense justice, and that too promptly. I'll give you the very salient features. Organized crime has been identified. Terrorism has been identified. Crime against women has been given the highest priority. Gang rape is punishable and can be punishable by death. Rape by 20 years. acid attacks heavily penalized, and the snatching from women like purses and mobile phones has also been identified and has been taken into account. Mob lynching, the most widely discussed and criticized act of violence, has been identified, and even death penalty has been prescribed in that. You have, apart from the penal code, there are certain aspects that if a government servant, whatever be the rank, if he is found complicit, there is a 7-year punishment for a government servant for giving false evidence in a court of law. So you see that the far-reaching, I could go on and on. Perhaps I would require another session only to speak about the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Coming to the Criminal Procedure Code, handcuffing has been mandated. Arrests, it is not possible to make arrest because I don't like somebody's face. No, before the arrest, a deputy SP has to give the permission that the arrest is legitimate. Similarly, the entire proceedings will be videographed. This is so important for all our youth, not to fear the police. Now, there is nothing to fear. We are independent citizens of an independent country, and the police and the law enforcement machinery will have to abide by the rule of law. Otherwise, there will be consequences for those who misuse the law. The moment an FIR, those of us, Allah na kare kisi ko thane jana pade, because it is not a very pleasant experience. But all of us at one point of time or the other have to lodge an FIR. And the police subculture of 150 years is FIR nahi hogi chahe jaan ko chali jaye. FIR will not be lodged. Now FIR has been lodged in the new Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita by oral, by email, 0 FIR. That I'm traveling by train, I get down at my destination, I know my briefcase has been stolen, I go to the police station, and in the prescribed duration of time, my FIR will be registered as 0 and will be sent to the police station of jurisdiction. So these are the good things that have happened in your Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And everything is digitized. Digitized in the sense, FIR, case diaries, visit to the spot, and more importantly, if I'm searched by a police party, that entire proceedings will have to be videographed. If my house is being searched, then that also will be videographed. It is not that somebody can go on the street, will search and not make a videography. So this is a wonderful safeguard that has emerged, as also that the charge sheeting. Now the wonderful part comes now. Tarikh pe tarikh is now a thing of the past. Investigation has to be completed in 90 days. If it is so complicated, take a permission, maximum 180 days. In 60 days, the charge has to be framed. And in 30 days, the judgment has to come. Maximum number of adjournments is just twice. Maximum number of adjournments is just twice. I, ladies and gentlemen, was honored by the Parliamentary Committee on revision of these laws, and I gave a presentation to the Honorable Committee of the Parliament. And therefore, I am privy to the fact that what went on to make laws people-friendly. Also, the e-conference, the entire proceedings, the court proceedings, we have a system that will now go by e-courts. The government has given a grant of 7,000 crores so that the hardware and the software necessary for e-trials are there. Now the hardcore mafia and the criminals will not have to come before the court, that their statements and every legal requirement and compulsion can be ensured through video conferencing. So you can see that the mafia will not have an opportunity to come and browbeat innocent citizens and the trusting people or bully around. Then it should be followed also by police reforms, the jail reforms, and governance does not necessarily mean only the people-friendly, that the redressal of grievances and sustainable development all should go hand in hand, but that presupposes professional competence of the bureaucracy, unimpeachable integrity of the bureaucracy, action flexibility, and social sensitivity. Social sensitivity that give the feeling and the impression that the officer belongs to everyone and everyone belongs to the officer without distinction of caste, creed, or religion. Then we come to the policies, processes, and systems. Policies, processes, and systems is a very important aspect of Viksit Bharat. Policies that are people-friendly, the subsidies in respect of the gas cylinders, the subsidies that are essential in respect of the basic material, redressal of grievances, that if I have an issue in respect of my agricultural land, my residence, my map, that should be properly addressed. How to make the administration more people-friendly. And then we come to e-governance. E-governance puts all forms of blatant, I don't say it will cure all corruption, but blatant and loud corruption has been checked by e-governance. So the best experiments of e-governance need to reach all the villages, and that is one success story. Cultural heritage. It is difficult to find any country on the planet which is richer than our cultural heritage. And who would know better than you, fortunate ladies and gentlemen who are sitting in Kashmir? Your culture can be the game changer as far as tourism is concerned, as far as film industry is concerned, of the rich traditions. And I think there is so much depth, people will forget Vienna, Austria, and Switzerland if Kashmir is appropriately showcased. A beginning has been made. A beginning has been made. Job opportunities have been created. The Lulu Mall people are there to establish their malls. The food preservation industry is going, the tourism industry, the transport operators. There is so much that can happen. Why it did not happen earlier, I will not go into that. There are multiple questions, horrible questions, and even more horrible answers. Let us begin today for the next 25 years, so that today I will not live long enough to see that day. But wherever I am in the other world, I will bless all of you for a very brighter and a happier future and a developed Kashmir that can be showcased. Don't go to Switzerland. I'll be the happiest person in India. Don't go to Switzerland. You have something much better than Switzerland in Kashmir. Much better in Baramulla. Your degree college, I find, will be a university, a world-class university. I'm sorry to say Malaysia has world-class universities in the top 100 rankings. We have IITs and IIMs, but we do not figure in the top 100 universities. I'm sure you have it in you to create a university. We also do not have a Nobel Prize in Science after Sir C.V. Raman, 1930. We do not include Dr. Hargobind Khurana because Indian origin, but the laboratory and the work is US. Therefore, when I say that we have so much, our honorable principal mentioned that it is good to have a PhD, but PhD of quality, not PhD that when I got my PhD, as you very kindly introduced, that I got my PhD in 1990 as a serving IPS officer. My guide said, you have to work hard. Don't think that you'll be given any concession, and don't think of getting your PhD in less than 5 years. Today, as a vice chancellor, as the chancellor say, sir, can I get it in 2 years? But don't even think that you are cut, copy, paste types. You don't deserve even to work for a PhD if you want a PhD in 2 years. The UGC rules do not allow us. The UGC rules just do not allow us to be a part-timer. When you pick up a PhD, you have to devote heart, soul, and your life on that PhD. Professor Mohammad Farooq Rathir sir has already mentioned, it is good to have a small number of quality PhDs than to have a large number of PhDs who will not do justice to their research and authentic. And the taste of the pudding lies in its eating. I also interview, sir, and I'm sure your experience would be the same. When I interview and hire professors and other appointments in the university, I say, what is your PhD in? Because my PhD is in physics, because physics cannot be a subject of PhD. This is just not the subject. No, sir, no. Tell me the topic of your PhD. Sir, you'd be shocked to know that 10% of the participants and the candidates have forgotten the title of the PhD. What can I say? What can I say? There has to be a reinforcement on knowledge, authentic knowledge. I did my PhD in 1990, much before most of you were born. Energetics of agro-ecosystem, Central Himalayas, and its relation to forest ecosystems. In fact, I did a project in 1972 in my MSc, Anatomical Investigations of Fossil Dicotyledons from the Deccan Intertraphic Beds of India and Notes on Comparable Living Material. I remember it because I did it myself. There was no question of doing cut, copy, paste. There was no question. My guide would come down like a ton of bricks on me. Today, I know, I understand it is not possible to come down like a ton of bricks on anyone, much less on a research scholar. But the quality control systems will have to be there to ensure quality. If Malaysia can come out with a world-class university, if Singapore can come out with world-class institutions, why can't we? Our demographic dividend is such, the best and the most classy in the world. It's a duty also to ensure the quality of education. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. The new education policy, we have talked about that, and the new education policy is very, very student-friendly. As you're fully aware that the new education policy, in what way? Have you understood in what way is it student-friendly? I'll tell you. It is student-friendly in the sense that it does not give any pressure on the student for academic, yet it gives you the best. What is internationally the best? That is provided to you. And that is the secret of a good education policy, that your mother tongue, the focus on the mother tongue, the focus on coding, focus on the new pedagogies, smart classrooms, teachers, faculty development programs. These are the things that the new education policy focuses on. Otherwise, what we were in was almost on the verge that old wine in new bottle. There was nothing to look forward to, as you had very eloquently elaborated, that the student's sense of inquiry, to develop the sense of inquiry, is imperative. It is also something, an academic revolution. Schooling starts at the age of 3, mother tongue as medium of instruction, no UGC, AICTE, NCTE, science, arts and commerce get blurred, common access at all school level education, attaining fundamental literacy and numeracy starting from the grade 3 by 2025, experimental learning in the school curriculum, increase the graduate enrollment ratio, enhancing the standards of open and distance learning, technological innovation in education, international education, increase in public investment in education. A public and people partnership, the PPP model in education, is now something that is not an option but a compulsion, and education has to be taken to a different level. Our curriculums, like the policing in the country, did not change for decades together, and then it was almost like chopping at our own roots. We need to understand that the way the world is changing, what worked yesterday will not work today. Things are moving so fast that we literally have to run just to stay still. Because this demographic dividend is a blessing today, but a few mistakes can turn it into a disaster. Incompetent hands like yours, to shape, to mentor, to hone, induct the best international practices, the educational, I think you would be doing a service not only to the nation, but to the student community. These 25 years are going to be the most critical in the history of India. We did not figure in the Industrial Revolution because we were under a feudal master. But the IT revolution in the next 25 years are an opportunity we cannot afford to miss. I'm happy that your college has a wonderful IT department, a computer department, wonderful faculty like yours, sir, who can give interest in coding, the disruptive technology of the future, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, drone technology. These are the technologies of the future, and I think the essentials which the new education policy also proposes, that it should be made compulsory at the basic level so that our children are abreast with the latest advancement in technology. So education being the most important, and we have the biggest guidance from Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave great emphasis on ilm. Even if you have to get ilm, you have to go to China, go to China. So with this lighthouse, with this brilliant and revolutionary message, let education be the topmost priority of every student, every faculty. The basic ticket to being a good faculty is to have a ticket of lifelong learner. Because I know my degree expires. In my time, it used to expire in 15 years. In your time, it will expire in 5 years. Because by the time this webinar is over, hundreds and thousands of papers would be out. And unless we have a ticket for being a lifelong learner, my degree, which is more than 5 years old, will not keep us up to date. And these webinars also tell us, show us the mirror, where we lag, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and the opportunities available, and what are the threats. The threats are very simple. My last 10 minutes, with your permission, will be devoted on the threats. I deal with youngsters. I know my childhood, there were not many temptations. In my university days, it was said, ये लड़का बड़ा आवारा है, ये चाय पीता है, ये सिनेमा देखता है, नॉवेल पढ़ता। आज अगर लड़का सिर्फ यही 3 करे तो ये कहेंगे साहब ये पूरा ही फरिश्ता है, ये सिर्फ चाय ही पीता है और कुछ नहीं पीता है, ये सिर्फ सिनेमा देखता है और कुछ नहीं देखता है, सिर्फ नॉवेल पढ़ता है और कुछ नहीं पढ़ता है. I will go into that. What is plaguing our youth? अकबर इलाहाबादी has said, where I belong to, हम उन किताबों को समझते हैं काबिले ज़ब्ती, हम उन किताबों को समझते हैं काबिले ज़ब्ती जिनको पढ़ के औलाद समझते हैं माँ बाप को खपती. अब तो ऐसा माँ बाप ढूंढना मुश्किल है जिसको औलाद खपती ना समझता. और क्यों, उसको भी मैं बताऊंगा आगे चल के. द malignant influence of the Western culture, the malignant influence of the Western priorities of life, eat, drink and be merry. No, this cannot be eat, drink and be merry. This is not a culture. Our culture is pain, sacrifice and effort. Somebody asked me, give me the 3 Moola mantras, the basics: pain, sacrifice and effort. A student has to live by it. A soldier has to live by it. You have a double responsibility. It's not can be eat, drink and be merry. It has to be pain, sacrifice and effort. And the 3 facets of a good researcher, a good scholar is punctuality, वक्त की पाबंदी, hard work will never be out of fashion, and thrift, kifayat shari. Every student must inculcate it. Punctuality, वक्त की पाबंदी. सर, आपकी अटेंडेंस कभी भी मैं समझता हूं 99% से कम नहीं रही होगी. बिफोर एग्जामिनेशन स्टूडेंट्स कम, साहब मेरी अटेंडेंस पता नहीं कौन सा मुझे जरा डिबार कर दिया, बड़ा एहसान आप कर रहे हैं, तशरीफ लाए हैं इम्तिहान देने, बड़ी मेहरबानी कर रहे हैं आप, यूनिवर्सिटी तशरीफ ला रहे हैं साहब. 60% आप करते क्या रहते हैं? उनका सब पैसे की तंगी हो गई थी तो मुझे थोड़ा पार्ट टाइम जॉब करना पड़ा. उनका पैसे की तंगी और आपको, यू आर वेयरिंग एन ओमेगा वॉच कॉस्टिंग 2 लाख रुपीज, यू आर वेयरिंग अ नाइकी शूज कॉस्टिंग 10,000 rupees, you are wearing a Levi's jeans costing 15,000 rupees, a Pringle t-shirt costing 5. तुम्हारे तो जिस पे ही जो चलती फिरती शोरूम है तुम्हारा, तुम कह रहे हो पैसे की तंगी है. अरे पैसे की तंगी तो हम लोगों ने देखी है. ये बड़े भाई पिता वालिद की उतारी हुई कमीज बड़े भाई ने पहनी, बड़े भाई की उतारी कमीज हमने पहने, वालिद के पुराने जूते हमने पहने. मुफलिसी नहीं कहूंगा, लेकिन किफायत सारी। ये शौकीनी जिस दिन आती है, दिस इज समथिंग लाइक, इसको कहते हैं भूल लग जाना पर्सनैलिटी में। आई विल टॉक अबाउट दैट लेटर, बट और मैं प्रिंसिपल साहब की इजाजत जरूर चाहूंगा कि कड़वी बातें अब हम लोगों ने करना बंद कर दिया, लेकिन हर चीज मीठी बातें करना वो मुनासिब भी नहीं है। और जो मैं कह के जा रहा हूं अच्छी लगे तो समझ लीजिएगा, नहीं समझिएगा कि एक बुढ़ा आया भौंक करके चला गया जिसको कि म्यूजियम में रहना चाहिए था। लेकिन मैं कहूंगा जरूर अच्छी लगे तो सोचिएगा, गौर कीजिएगा, ना पसंद आए छोड़ जाइएगा, बड़ी माजरत के साथ मैं कह रहा हूं। लेकिन मैं कहूंगा जरूर मोहम्मद फारूक साहब रातिर साहब की इजाजत से बाद में 10 मिनट, व्हाट वर्क्स एंड व्हाट विल नॉट वर्क सर। और हम आते हैं मेन इशू पे दोबारा। सिर्फ यहीं पर क्वालिटी हेल्थ केयर, आयुष्मान भारत has done great wonders, but that needs to be seen that more number of surgical procedures should also be available to the poorest of the poor. Quality medicines are already available. You would be happy and proud. We are all as Indians proud that during the COVID and the pandemic, India became the pharmacy to the world. Because of the fact that India grew, we had our own Adar Poonawala Sahab, who manufactured the vaccines and not only provided vaccines at a very reasonable cost to the entire country, but also exported to those who wanted them. The technological advancements. You see, in 1947, I had mentioned they were hardly in industry. Today, we are an industrial power. Exporting, as Honorable Principal Sir had mentioned, not only the skilled manpower, which is not so good for us, we have to have some kind of a reverse brain drain, but the brain drain is never too good. We also have export surplus of sophisticated software, hardware, IT services, and also, sir, arms and armaments. Make in India is now a reality. Make in India is a reality, sir, that the most state-of-the-art weapons, Raebareli, sir, is now manufacturing AK-56s. We have main battle tanks being manufactured. We had the release of INS Imphal yesterday that was commissioned by the Honorable Defense Minister Rajnath Singh ji, totally indigenous, fully equipped with the Polaris missiles. So these are the wonderful positive developments that are taking us and indeed making us a Viksit Bharat. But we must not anchor here, sir. We must not anchor here. Can you hear me, sir? There's a power breakdown here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Wonderful. So that is the fallback. Wonderful. So we can carry on. So
Sure, sir.
the journey thus far has been very, very satisfactory. But the world is changing so fast. The world is changing so fast, and the rate of progress. Now the 3 technologies that will impact our future. You know, China has said that what oil is to Saudi Arabia, artificial intelligence is to us. And China is harnessing intelligence, and you, sir, would be the best person to guide us that artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing, robotics, and this technology is going to be critical for India's industrialization. Dr. Sayyid Mutahid Aqib Sahab, you have a role to play. And you have a role to play that even for laymen, those who are not studying computer science, because convergence at 360 degrees means that I should also be familiar. Not as much as you are. I cannot in my lifetime imagine that I'll be as proficient as you are. But yes, even the rudiments, when somebody talks of AI, when somebody talks of machine learning, robotics, drone technology, I should not say, ye kya jagah hai dosto. I should have level of proficiency that I'm fully familiar. Digital transformation in the country. It is a matter of tremendous satisfaction that the UPI payment modes and also other systems of mode are so very proficient and competent that most of us, when it was introduced, we did not know that perhaps it was great inconvenience to deal with cash, other than cash. But in the last 4 years, I think, even those who were computer illiterate are now using Google Pay, Paytm, the barcodes. So this is a miracle which even the Western countries are trying to come and see for themselves what has happened and how this transformation has happened. Now, even the vegetable vendors, the pan sellers, and I dare say even the beggars have a QR codes. You don't have cash, you don't. Just snap on the QR code and starting from 1 rupee down to anything you want to give, go ahead. Everything is possible. And no other than people from Japan and Germany are coming to study how this revolution came about. Now, the 2 points that I intend taking together, environmental stability and green urban planning. This is so very essential. Our demographic dividend is a blessing, but the overpopulation also is a cause of concern. That has brought about unplanned urbanization, haphazard urbanization, illicit felling of trees, eutrophication of lakes. I remember going to Kashmir in mid-60s. It was so freezing cold. But now that level of temperature is not there. There's an increase in temperature because of glacial melting, eutrophication of lakes, illicit felling of trees, and the change in ecosystem. The plunder of the eco-wealth of the country at the hands of the wildlife mafia and the timber mafia, that has to be checked. You must have heard of the sand mafia. I'm talking of the wildlife mafia and the timber mafia. They have to be contained. And it is possible. And I think you need to work on that paper on how, Dr. Sayyid Matar Akib Sahab, how aerial photography, satellite imagery can tell us where the tree felling is happening and where illicit townships are coming. That is perfectly possible. The Google Maps can tell us how to address that where tree felling is happening. It is not that it is possible without the complicity of the local staff. It has to be with the complicity of the local staff. Then green construction is one aspect, to use indigenous material, use natural sunlight, rainwater harvesting, and apart from that, maximum tree plantation on all national days. Minimum use of plastics and maximum use of biodegradables. And as they have in Singapore, all of us who visited Singapore, every signboard and signage has reduce, recycle, and reuse. To have a vibrant ecosystem, you must have heard about the NCR because of the Parali burning. The oxygen level and the purity of the air leaves much to be desired, and that needs to be addressed and fixed at the earliest. Coming to green construction, illegal construction, and that too with substandard material, and the demolition waste and the hospital waste, and also the plastic waste that has to be addressed. Waste from the electronic industry that needs to be recycled and has to be addressed appropriately. Having addressed the pollution concerns, the concerns in respect of the gaseous pollution, the pollution of our rivers, eutrophication of lakes, as also the noise pollution. I know the Supreme Court has given guidelines that there cannot be the use of loudspeakers before 6 a.m. and after 10 p.m. That has to be faithfully implemented because of acoustic pollution concerns. Then we may discuss peacekeeping and humanitarian efforts. We still have a large segment of population which is given free rations since the pandemic days. That segment of populations has to be addressed. The segment of population in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bihar, which is at the BPL level, and especially those, as you would know, as euphemistically known as the red corridor of India, which abounds in the left-wing extremism, that has to be addressed. They have to be addressed because if they are not addressed and the fault lines not corrected, they have a potential of snowballing into another administrative issue. A serious problem. Therefore, we now have vacancies, very many vacancies in the armed forces. We can double up the services of the NGOs so that they can go about, set up India Reserve battalions in those areas, generate employment, give security, and not only give security, but also to ensure that there is no injustice. The administration is sensitive, transparent, accountable, and accountable not just to the rule of law, accountable also to their conscience. Being accountable to the conscience is even a higher level of administrative propriety than being accountable to just the rule of law. Running the extra mile as far as administration is concerned. And building up of institutions. We have built up our judiciary, our armed forces. I'm happy to note that GDC Baramulla has provisions for NCC, NSS. They are the first steps to building good administration, for building of character. And institution building, judiciary, the administration, and also the education level, the faculties. The faculties, there's a good faculty and there's a bad faculty. You would be I would be sorry to know that very many senior level vacancies in medical colleges, IIMs and engineering college, IITs are vacant because we do not have the appropriate number. Those who figure at the topmost level of these institutions, say perhaps the professor or dean, perhaps venture out to greener pastures abroad or perhaps in private service. But it's a tragedy that so much of public money has been spent on the creation of this wonderful infrastructure, medical colleges, IITs, IIMs, universities and colleges, but we don't have the right number of people to head, mentor and guide these institutions. Our infrastructure in respect of the roads, air services has increased tremendously. There was a time when we only saw the bluest of the blue blood people traveling by air. Today, all of us are satisfied that not only us, not only we, but people who we thought were economically weaker also can, will and should travel by air. And this is what made India proud. When you go to the airport, you find all segments of society enjoying and availing air services. This is what development is all about. The infrastructure of the road is such that all the roads, bridges, and the railway stations and the airports have come up. Fail-proof and foolproof security being provided there is a matter of great satisfaction. Now, with this, we cannot rest on our oars. There has to be something akin to America's 25-year plan. And I wish the 25-year plan will have, because this will see through India at 2047, 100 years of our independence. That is going to be, but every year is important and every day is important and critical, not a day to be wasted by lockdown, by closures, by strikes, by criminal waste of man hours. That should not be allowed. And therefore, as a nation, as a resolute nation, one should take a resolve that the roadmap that the nation had decided for else, India at 2047. This is one agenda that has prime importance for each and every Indian. Your vote is not just enough. Your being Indian is equally and more important, so that you exercise your right of franchise. You exercise and be a proud Indian. And to be a proud Indian, these nurseries, your college, my university, the schools, they should create men and women of steel. Men and women who should do India proud, who should be the best engineers, best doctors, which they are, the best academicians. And now I will go, since the hiring teams come and they look for young boys and girls, young men and women, the fresh graduates, and they ask, what is your prime expectation when you have come here for recruitment. We want men and women of unimpeachable integrity. When Fortune 500 CEOs collected, they asked, what is the prime quality that you look for your youngsters or the people you're hiring? Men and women of absolute integrity. It wasn't a degree from Harvard. It wasn't a degree from Stanford. It wasn't a degree from Oxford or Cambridge. Men and women. Integrity is one thing that has taken a back seat. And I've seen the decline in standards, that the neurotic consumerism. I use the word as neurotic consumerism. I must have the state-of-the-art gadgets in my house. I must have a state-of-the-art flat or house for myself. I would say that it is better to be honorable and frugal than to be dishonorable. As a DGP, I also had the option of turning my head, but I was lucky that I got my ustads, instructors, teachers, and my parents who gave me the sense of right and wrong and said, it is better to be an honorable ex-DGP than to be a dishonorable serving DGP. Posts come and go, wealth comes and goes, but your integrity and your character are a reflection on the breeding, your family pedigree, and the training that you have got at the hands of your teachers. Integrity, a person of integrity, boys and girls, and my dear members of the faculty, is a one-person army. He is a lighthouse. And integrity just does not mean that I don't take money. In my university, sir, I have a system. It may be old-fashioned, but this is where I have been brought up. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't do drugs. And since there are more than 50% girls and 50% lady faculties, there is a policy of zero touch amongst genders. There's a policy of zero touch. Whether it's Holi or Diwali, whatever it is, दूर से बात कीजिए. छूने की कोशिश की, इसका खामियाजा होगा पहले बाहर और फिर जांच. जांच पहले नहीं, पहले बाहर. I'm the oldest man. Even in convocation, I keep my hand 6 inches above the head of the lady graduates and the pass outs. Zero touch. लोग कहते हैं आप बड़े दकियानूसी, उनका हूं दकियानूसी. उनका आप अजायब घर में रखने लायक हैं, उनका हूं अजायब घर में रखने लायक. I am not here for a popularity contest. यहां यही होगा. नतीजा क्या है सर? My university has 60% girl students. Faculty is 60% ladies. Vice Chancellor is a lady. हमने कहा लड़कों अगर यही तुमने नालायकी का सबूत दिया 5 साल में, it will be an all women university. अरे कुछ तो हरकत करो, कुछ तो पढ़ो लिखो, कुछ तो नाम रोशन करो. जो सहूलियतें दी जा रही है उसका तो फायदा उठा लो. Just going to the malls and going for parties and celebrating Valentine's Day will not take you very far in life. उसका वक्त आएगा. First stand on your feet. First stand on your feet. Make a name for yourself in the academic world. That will be the time when you can go and enjoy parties and all. This is too early and too premature. Last word. उसके बाद मैं, if there are any questions, I would love to answer them. मेरी बात फिर बुरी लग सकती, लेकिन मैं I'm not here for a popularity context. और ये बात मेरी लड़कों के लिए. Boys, somebody asked Henry Ford, you are the wealthiest man in the world. How many girlfriends do you have? To listen to the answer of Henry Ford. If I had had girlfriends, I would not have been Henry Ford. हर चीज का वक्त होता है. माँ बाप के ऊपर छोड़ दीजिए. They will get you your best girlfriend. अपनी खुद मुख्तारी का नाजायज फायदा न उठाएं. उनकी उम्मीदें आपसे वाबस्ता हैं. एक ही कदम उठा था गलत राह शौक पर, और जिंदगी तमाम उम्र मुझको ढूंढती रह गई. और if I have said anything improper, I'm extremely sorry and I say sorry with folded hands. और जाने से पहले एक शेर और आपकी शान में अर्ज है. शबा को एहसास से फर्ज की दहलीज पे रोशन रखे. शबा को एहसास से फर्ज की दहलीज पे रोशन रखे, जिससे जिल्लत के अंधेरों से मुलाकात ना हो. Thank you so much for being such patient listeners. If I have said something offensive, I'm sorry for that, but it's my painful duty to have said that and brought before you. क्योंकि मैं जब देखता हूं कि जो सख्ती हमारे वालिदैन ने मेरे साथ की, वो उनकी दुआ थी आज तक। मैंने परवरदिगार को नहीं देखा, मेरे वालिदैन मेरे परवरदिगार थे। उन्होंने जो सख्ती की वो फरिश्तों की सख्ती थी। लेकिन आज मैं देखता हूं कि माँ बाप डरते हैं। डरने का क्या कारण? तो प्रिंसिपल सर से इजाजत चाहूंगा और मेरे लायक को खिदमत हो, कभी भी 24 घंटे आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर हूं। और बच्चों को मेरी बहुत बहुत दुआ, हमेशा दुआ में याद रखूंगा। और अगर कोई और खिदमत हो तो मैं हाजिर हूं।
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for having no words for such an insightful talk. Sir, you talked about a number of relevant issues. So I would request everyone to join me in expressing our sincerest appreciation to Sir for his captivating and insightful talk. Sir navigated us through the profound journey of India from 1947, from its independence towards the vision of Viksit Bharat. Sir talked about the repeal of colonial laws, the imperative of social reforms, the transformative impact of e-governance, the grievance redressal, the elevation of research quality, and the strategic importance of technology. India as a nation has really gone a long way since 1947. Sir, you articulated the exploration of these critical topics reflects not only your deep understanding, but also your commitment to steering our nation towards a progressive and inclusive future. Your vision for the Viksit Bharat is grounded in strategic administration and progressive decision making, and it resonates with us profoundly, sir. We commend your dedication for advocating for social reforms and embracing of technology to enhance the governance. Sir, your emphasis on the quality of research underscores the importance of knowledge as a driving future or a driving force for societal advancement. Thank you, sir, for sharing your wealth of experience and insights. Your talk has not only enlightened us, but has also ignited a spark for collective action and positive change. We look forward to carrying this inspiration from your words into our endeavors and for further discussions. Once again, sir, I thank you for your invaluable contribution in today's lecture. Now it's time to turn our attention to our participants. We're moving to a dynamic question and answer session. So I request all the participants to kindly submit your questions in the chat window. I request my colleague, Dr. Bilal Makbul, to carry on with the question and answer session. He will be moderating the session. Over to you, Bilal, sir.
Sir, we have not received yet any question yet.
If anyone wants to ask a question directly to the speaker, we would request them to raise their hand. There's an option to raise your hand, or you can write the question in the chat window and we will unmute you. Any participants who wants to say something to our learned speaker? We're getting a number of comments from our participants that this was a very inspirational speech. If we have any questions, direct questions that you would like Dr. Vikram sir to answer, we would like to take it now.
somebody has raised his hand. We may request that person to
Yes.
put that question.
Yes. Dr. Malik Roshan, I have
Good afternoon.
unmuted you. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I just want to know if my voice is clear, if it's audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Very
It's
clear,
very
ma'am.
Yeah.
Very clear, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. There isn't actually a question. There's just an observation, if you allow me to.
Please.
Dr. Singh, thank you so much for that inspirational speech. I mean, it was holistic in a sense that you covered all the very important points that there are in the roadmap towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Sir, I am from the Department of Psychology, and I believe that creating a positive perception per se among the world leaders and the world at large is very, very important for us as a society, as a nation, to carve our way towards a Viksit Bharat, which is something that we are all focused at the moment. I think if मैं आपकी ही स्पीच से एक लास्ट का पार्ट लूंगी जहां आपने बोला कि अगर एक बच्चा चाहे तो वो अपने फोकस के साथ अपने गोल्स को परस्यू करेगा तो वो अपने लिए एक शाहीन की परवाज की तरह अपने लिए गोल जो है वो अपना जो है वो अचीव कर पाएगा लेकिन अगर वो कहीं अपनी डगर से डगमगा जाएगा तो उसके लिए बड़ी मुश्किल आ सकती है This is something which is very, very important for us as teachers to look into. अपने बच्चों को हमें अपनाना पड़ेगा और उनकी जो potentials है उनको correct तरीके से tap करना बहुत जरूरी है. This is something which I have observed as a teacher in my class because अगर आप अपने बच्चों को अपनाएंगे नहीं तो उनके अंदर जो आग है उसे आप properly spark नहीं कर पाएंगे. This is my observation being from the Department of Psychology. I need to understand if you have a similar kind of a take, sir.
Words of profound wisdom, and thank you for them. Not only profound wisdom, but divine wisdom, I would say. So much of spiritual depth in whatever said. Every word should be taken into the heart. And I share the same. They have a saying in the army, there are no bad soldiers, there are only bad generals. And likewise in academics, there are no bad students, only bad teachers. I would say that, yes, you're very right. Patience, affection, kindness, and active inspiration, active interaction. That is what the game changer is all about. You are absolutely right. And I'm totally, the magic power of self-image psychology. Every time I give a positive idea to a child, it is such a reinforcement to a child. And every negative idea that I give, perhaps it will take 17 more positive ideas. And this is one professor of psychology who said, one negative talk, one negative suggestion to a student, 17 positive would be required to undo that one single negative sentiment that somebody may have uncharitably given to that child. Thank you, ma'am, for your inputs. I totally agree with them.
Thank you, sir. I think our principal, sir, wants to say something. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. मुझे इस पे एक शेर याद आ गया तो मैं पहले उनको ही वही पढ़ता हूँ. उफ और आह का फर्क नजर आए, अगर उफ और आह का फर्क नजर आए तो जिंदगी संवर जाए, वरना अल्फाज के हेर फेर से किताब ही लिखी जाती.
क्या बात, क्या बात.
Kindly repeat it, sir. Sir, kindly repeat it, sir.
अगर उफ और आह का फर्क नजर आए तो जिंदगी संवर जाए, वरना अल्फाज के हेर फेर से किताब ही लिखी जाए.
नहीं जा सकते. क्या बात.
Sir, my question to you is, since under NEP we are also going to introduce now the skill program. So far we are not in a position to introduce that because of up to third semester under NEP. But in the fourth semester we have to introduce this as a full-fledged part. The unfortunate part is so far NSDC is not working on that towards the college. They are working beautifully for polytechnic colleges, ITIs, but so far college is concerned, they are not working on it. And it is very difficult for we people to accommodate that academic as well as the skill program during our day boarding. That is the question, sir, I am basically.
A very relevant question and a practical question. The practical problem which we faced and we encountered that we started a polytechnic of our own in our university. I know it is easier said than done. We have a large campus, the largest in the NCR, 75 acres plus, So we could afford to have a polytechnic. But then there has to be a budget, the government sanctions. But you are an autonomous college. I don't think start small, dream big, but initiate now, sir. It is so easy because your laboratories can develop also for skilling. I don't say that skill them and make them utmost top level engineers, but to give them the basic skills which the Skill India program wants. I think many of our laboratories, both of the mechanical engineering and the IT laboratories, can be doubled up. But if you do not want that to double up or mix and dilute the core courses, I think it is good to have a small hall, and given the basic instruments of lathes, etc., electricians, etc., you can certainly start off and then begin the Skill India program also.
Thank you, sir.
So I would like to come in here regarding skilling we are talking about. There has been a lot of noise regarding skilling, but NEP talks in terms of embedded skilling in the courseware. It talks in terms of entrepreneurship, it talks in terms of innovation. That means we have to, our board of studies have to work in a different mode now. They have to change the pedagogy of teaching. They have to change the content in such a way that they have to embed the skill in every course, every program. It has to be, I mean, just if you are teaching zoology, zoology has to be taught in a practical way so that the student can benefit by moving into the market with his or her skill set. That is more important. When we talk about NSDC and other organizations, they are different verticals. They produce a skilled force. But what is required? If we have to achieve the 30 trillion economy, we need to have skill at every level, and academic teaching has to be now skill oriented. This is my take, and this is what NEP also says. My request to all my participants here is that we have to change the content. We have to revisit our content. We have to change the board of studies in such a way. We have to have industry people also in the board of studies so that they tell us in next 5 years what skill we require, so that we can embed it in our content and accordingly teach the students, and they go out with a degree along with the skill set that is required. That is what I wanted to put before this August House. And I thank Dr. Saab for his wonderful lecture that he has given. I'm an avid listener to him on TV whenever there are any debates, important debates, and his moderation is excellent. And he speaks for everybody. And that is the beauty of it, sir. I want to congratulate you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Just a small suggestion that we have to shift gears. I know miracles do not happen overnight, but when we talk of something as like a subject like zoology and how to make skilling as a part of that, just a minor shifting of gears, say endangered species and how to safeguard them.
Exactly.
Getting the animals that get poached, how to safeguard that. And there are so many departments in the government who would like to buy those ideas and give them skilling and also preserve and safeguard the diverse life forms. Whether it is botany also, botany like that, applied botany is a subject in itself. How to raise crops and how to raise those plants and trees which can be marketed. There is so much of our organic products, biodegradable products, and I think botany and zoology have a very bright future that way, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think we have one more question, one more observation from Dr. Humaira Kadri, Dean Research of this issue. Humaira ma'am, are you there? Are you there, Humaira ma'am? I have unmuted you already.
I suppose we have Professor Tariq Saab. He is the Dean Skill at Baramulla College, if I'm correct. I think he can do wonderful thing. He can make everybody to have new board of studies, and he can get industry people in the local people, so that skilling happens in every course and in every program. And Tariq Saab is very dynamic about that. He can do it.
True.
Sir. So, is there any other participant who wants to share something here, or then we will conclude the session? Okay. So, as we conclude, give just a second. We have one participant. He wants to ask a question. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, everyone. It was
Yes,
a wonderful talk, and I'm highly, inspired by the intellectual discourse that has been there over the past 1 hour. I would like to it is a query. Since Sir has an educational background, he has been handling the educational institution, one of the highest educational institutions in India. I would like to ask that, keeping in with the fate of research in colleges, which has been there over a period of time, when the faculty of the colleges is, struggling very severely in order to come on the research and development road on the track. So what is the vision of India with respect to research and development under the aegis of Viksit Bharat, particularly for the colleges?
Madam, I think the days of cut, copy, and paste are gone forever. And I appreciate your concern for quality research and the decline in standards in the research work that is being done currently. Now the new norms, that there is an entrance test, there is a basic qualification. After the entrance test, mind you, there is a written examination. And I would like to share with you that 40% is the failure rate of the written examination, because the subjects that the research applicant has to work on is research methodology and other allied subjects. And unless person is proficient and indeed a serious-minded researcher, he or she will not be able to make it. I'm sorry about that. But the fact of the matter is that one cannot just walk into a university or a prestigious college and say, I want to do research. No, you have to prepare yourself, be equal to the task, write the examination and qualify. Now there is classwork, there is coursework, there have to be at least 3 papers before you are even considered for being awarded the PhD, of which, and the 3 quality journals, UGC approved journals, and 1 has to be an international journal. So under these things, I feel, and the stringent anti-plagiarism software that has to be used, I think plagiarism also is a thing of the past. Now there are more checks and balances than ever before. And I think the noticeable and the discernible improvement in quality of research is already there. So I think there's a bright future, because now you have zero tolerance towards plagiarism, to poor quality, and then you send your thesis to multiple senior people to evaluate. The viva voce in itself can be a very demanding aspect, and I'm happy for that, because PhD should not come as something, as pittance. PhD is something that you earn, you give your blood, toil, sweat, and tears for 3 years, and then you can even ever hope to get a PhD. Therefore, I think now the development and on the sound line, and things will only can go better from here and cannot go backwards.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, thank you, sir, for sharing your experiences and the knowledge with our participants. I once again thank you for your invaluable contribution in today's lecture. So as we conclude this captivating session, so let's express our gratitude to those who have made this event possible. I'm pleased to invite you, Professor Tariq Ahmed Chalku, Dean Skill, and the staff secretary of the college, to give his concluding remarks, and also he may deliver a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Akib. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
A very good afternoon to you all, and for such a wonderful interaction. Obviously, on such a cold day, it has given at least 2 degrees rise to the body temperature by listening to the guest of honor today. I should be placing on record my gratitude on behalf of the principal of this college and the IQAC cell to Mr. Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary, Higher Education, for being upfront and giving an impetus to such kind of interactive sessions. And I would like to inform the guest of honor that, sir, this Union Territory has taken an edge over the rest of the states in being upfront in taking up implementation of NEP. And we are probably ahead of the rest of the country. And with the concerted effort of all, I mean, from higher education bureaucracy to the lowest personnel working in a college, everybody is now on a move. And we have been able to have a very productive session of 2023 in that direction. I should be thanking Dr. Yasmin Ashai, Director Colleges, for again being always a point of encouragement and a point of contact with us in helping out all the problems and all kinds of guidances we require from time to time. Dr. Sheikh Ijaz Bashir, Nodal Principal of Kashmir Division, he is present with us and has been sitting throughout the whole session. He has been again think tank on so many issues which the Union Territory is facing, particularly in the sector of higher education. And being a college professor and a principal himself, he can be the best person who feels the pain of things and makes the valuable suggestions from time to time. The worthy principals of other colleges who are among the participants today, I should thank them for finding time and being with us today. I'm also I express my gratitude to all the faculty members. I could not join in the beginning because the whole forum was full to the capacity of this session within a few moments, and people are waiting. I thank them all for finding time and being a part of the proceedings of this. Since the forum was open to all the participants, I'm very sure that there must be participants from outside the colleges who joined in today. I thank them also for being here. And I feel that there have been a great number of takeaways, and I add to some of them what Dr. Akib has already re-emphasized. I would like to restate from our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS, that richness and prosperity belongs to all, quote unquote. Richness and prosperity belongs to all. And the true leadership, it lies in empowering the people who have been deprived because of some reasons. You talk of the geographical reasons, you talk of the political reasons, you talk of the societal or economic problems which this place has faced. I'm very sure that the guest of honor has pulse on understanding that we are trying to get this place out of so many issues, and we need a holding hand. We need a help where we require the help from the perspectives, what has been highlighted in the current session. Time to meet objectives of Viksit Bharat at 2047 is short. It is hardly 20 or 22 odd years or 23 odd years from here that we have to start, and we have to start with force. This is what has been one of our takeaways today. It is heartening to know that a lot of groundwork in terms of the change of the revision of IPC and the basic laws on the ground, they are being done to facilitate our youth that they make a hassle-free contribution to the building up of this nation. And I'm very sure, sir, I'm addressing the whole ambit of the intellectuals on this platform, that each one of us, you'll find that we are working in a missionary mode, not for a job, to bring this place up and up to the expectations of the whole nation. And I'm very sure that with all the support and guidance from the hands like you, we should be able to do it before time. Education is a manifestation of perfection, and also we need to get our youth into the newer sectors like artificial intelligence. As you said, sir, that what fuel or oil is to the Gulf, AI is to China, and we will replace the word China soon with India also. That would be one of the very important places where we need to understand. And accountability is not to the rule of law, it is to the conscience. जब ज़मीर इंसान का जिंदा है और जब वो ज़मीर के लिए काम करता है, and I'm very sure that each one of us are working on that type of mission. It is something more than what we actually do when we work for a job or we work for a superior officer. Building up of institutions and create the men and women who do proud to India and possess impeccable integrity must be our objective. And I assure you, sir, that we are already on such a path, and we are always trying to do things although sometimes in some difficult situations, but we should be probably the people who bring this nation to the I'll not say 3, but to the position number 1 by 2047. Given all the deliberations. I'm very sure that the session has been a very effective one, and I request worthy Dr. Vikram Singh that, sir, we will need your guidance and we will need your support again and again. We may bother you again and again. And I hope that since you have been to this place in mid-60s, it would be a great fortune for us that if you visit this now in mid-24. So our open invitation and our hearts are open to have you and receive you and have a look at the institutions which are working, and you will see that we are also doing a bit of it.
Sure.
So with this, I am thankful to Dr. Aqib Muttahir and IQAC Cell of Government Degree College, Baramulla, for planning this session, for conducting it so effectively. And my all congratulations and my thanks to the worthy principal of Degree College, Baramulla also, Dr. Mahmood Farooq Rathir Saab, for being upfront in such activities. And I end it with the words, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. सर कारवां बनने के लिए तैयार है. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words and concluding remarks. We were expecting the Special Secretary of the Higher Education Department, Dr. Ravi Shankar Sharma, to join us, but he had to attend a meeting at Jammu University today, so he couldn't join us. But he has sent his best wishes to this, to the smooth conduct of this program, and he's also sent his appreciation to our worthy speaker, Dr. Vikram Singh, sir. So, and I would like to inform all our participants that we have shared the link for the certificates in the chat window. So all the participants are requested to submit their valuable feedback, and we'll also be using that feedback to generate the certificates, which we will be dispatching on your email addresses. So I once again, on behalf of the Convergence 360 webinar series and IQAC of GDC Baramulla, thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time with our participants. I'm also thankful to all the patrons and co-patrons and all the participants who joined us here today. Your engagement has made this inaugural session truly special. I would like you to stay connected as we move forward to seeing you in our upcoming webinars. We have another webinar in the afternoon, which will be graced by Yeshri Abhay Kumar. He's an ambassador and also a writer. And we will also be joined by Professor Nirja Mottu, and they'll be talking about the translation and other studies. So once again, on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of GDC Baramulla, we're all thankful to Professor Vikram Singh, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you.
Sir.
God bless. Thank you.
So we'll be concluding the session. Thank you, sir. I once again request the participants, if you may kindly open your cameras. I request all the participants to open the cameras so we can have a virtual group photograph. Thank you so much, everyone. Kindly open your cameras. I request all the participants to kindly open your camera so we can take some snapshots for the report, and it will be very memorable for all of us. Okay. Bilal Sahab, I request you to take some snapshots from there. Is it done? Bilal sir.
Sir, 1 minute.
Kindly take few snapshots. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sir. I'll be ending the session now. Thank you so much.